What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. As you can see, we're doing a little bit of a different video today based on some feedback that I got from the YouTube community post and a story on Instagram. I've concluded that these are probably something fun that we can introduce on the channel. It's something that I have thought about doing in the past years when I was into YouTube on a more consistent basis. Never got around to doing it, but I figured now is probably a good time to dip our toes a little bit and see how we do with these, if it's something that we enjoy, if we don't, and kind of go from there. So the main purpose of these videos, of course, is to go through whatever the most recent release is, have a little discussion on the planes, whatever it is, take a look at the pictures for each one, just see how everything's looking. But the more important part of this video is the aftermath of it. So I want to hear from you guys. I want to hear what airplanes you like. I want to hear what you don't like. Are you picking anything up? Are you passing on things? Do you have things on the list that you might get at a later date? Things of that nature, right? So I want to have that discussion with everyone and try to engage with you guys a little bit more in the comments section in these regards. So anyways, today is, March 19th. March/April release was announced, which is probably a good thing that they're combining because my wallet cannot take any more from all the good planes that have been coming out lately. So we need a combination of this so I can have a little bit of a breather until May comes up. So let's get on into this. We are on the iPad, so I hope this goes well because I want to zoom in for you guys. I kind of pinch. It's just easier doing the iPad. So anyways, let's focus on the 1 to 400s. You have Aeromexico, a couple Deltas, Emirates, Frontier, Hawaiian, the Helvetic Airways, Jet 2, and United. So right off the bat, Aeromexico looks fabulous. This is their new livery that just was somewhat introduced not too long ago. I believe Gemini Jets made the 737-800 version of this very recent. So I'll tell you guys right now, I have 3 airplanes on the list for the 1 to 400s. This is 100% on the list that I will most likely pre-order very shortly because I think this would be a great addition to some of my fictional airports. None of my real life displays will have any Aeromexicos unless they announce service, but I think this is a really good pickup just because it's an Embraer 190. When JetBlue discontinues the aircraft at the beginning / sometime in September, there's not really going to be any Embraer 190s in the United States because I think Breeze is getting rid of theirs at some point in the near future as well. So Aeromexico is technically the only one, I believe, just off the top of my head, that has commercial service with them. Could be wrong, but I think that's somewhere along those lines. Moving back, here's the 2 Deltas. These were kind of already announced in some fashion. Also on the list for pre-order is these, not both the 100-year anniversary ones, but just the 321neo. I don't have any real needs for the 350, although it does look really nice. I cannot sit here and tell you that both of these don't look fantastic. So I think these are going to be really cool ones to pick up. But as you can see, yes, this is the 100th anniversary, and the 350 is going to look very similar, of course, just in the big boy version. So here you go. Here's the 350. This looks phenomenal as well. I mean, nothing to really, nitpick on how this is. I think both these are going to turn out really well. If you're a big Delta fan, I obviously would, if you're able to, I would get both if you're just uber Delta. But even if you're people like me who's not crazy Delta, I'm still, I'd still want to pick one of these up for my displays. But these are beautiful details on these guys. These look awesome. So I cannot wait till they come out. Next up, Emirates 350. Emirates, for me personally, never really, I think I had one 777 long, like the 222, I think, at some point, like a long time ago when I used to do like a Boston airport. I'm actually considering throwing this guy on the list. I really enjoy the little revision that they made on the tail section of the livery. As you can see, I mean, it's a little bit of a variation from what they used to do. And I don't know, guys, I wasn't really thinking about having an Emirates, but I think fictional wise, it might be kind of cool to have an Emirates aircraft. And I kind of like how this 350, it's kind of calling my name, and this might be the 3rd plane that I have on my list. Something cool. I don't really have a lot of Middle East carriers anymore, so this would be a nice addition for me, I think. And again, for you guys too, that's kind of the thing. It's like I want to hear this stuff below because I can't speak for everyone, but everyone has different needs and people buy models for different reasons. But if you're looking to get an Emirates, this is probably a really good time to consider one just because this is fresh off the paint. I think this is very, very new aircraft that has come into service recently. So definitely worth it. Next up, we have the old Frontier livery in that MD 81, I think this was. Don't personally have any interest in this. If you're like an OG Frontier fan, obviously this is your time to kind of get a retro type aircraft. I would highly recommend it for that reason. Or if you're just a big, Mad Dog fan, this is definitely a cool one to pick up. Obviously, their logo, they have reverted back to this in your modern day Frontier livery, so that's pretty cool. I'm personally not getting this guy, but this still is a really cool model that they're coming out with. I'm always appreciative when they still go back and do throwback planes and, old liveries, airlines in the past that don't exist anymore. I'm always a super fan when they do that. I actually hope they make an AirTrend 717 again just to use the more recent mold. I think that'd be a really cool one to pick up. Next up, ironically, Buddy and I were just talking about wanting a Hawaiian Airlines 717. I know they've made probably 3 or 4 versions of this since their new livery has come out, but kind of hard to get. Surprisingly, they're hard to get sometimes. So you have the Hawaiian Airlines 717 and that new livery. I said I had 3 planes on the list. It might be the 4th one. We might make this the 4th one on the list, but I'm not 100% sure. I need to ponder on some things if I really want to add this right now. Kind of have some ideas of wanting to do a real-life model airport based on a Hawaiian airport. So I wasn't thinking too crazy, nothing like Honolulu or Kauai. I was kind of thinking maybe Kona or the other one on the Big Island, Hilo. I probably got the pronunciation wrong. I know I used to get yelled at for mispronouncing the Hawaiian cities, so I should probably work on that in our modern day era. But anyways, this is a really cool one. Hawaiian, kind of like the same as Emirates, they have their little deal with each other. It seems like they always will make the planes time after time, which isn't a bad thing. I don't really get tired of it. I think it's a good thing for people because sometimes you might not be able to get the model right when they release it. And if you miss out, there's usually always going to be another opportunity. So I think this is a good one. I'm looking forward to most likely picking that one up. So this guy, the Helvetic Airways, this thing looks awesome. I can't tell you anything about this airline other than it looks really cool. So I'm going to sound like a buffoon on this one because I don't know what to tell you, honestly. But this looks really cool. I'm not going to pick it up. But if you are in that region or if you have an airport that would require this airplane, this is your time. I mean, it's the E190 E2, so that's fresh off the manufacturer line. It's going to be around for a long time. It's not a bad one to pick up. It looks really nice. Next up, Jet 2. I do know a little bit about Jet 2. Not a whole lot to say. I know this pertains to a different geographic area, so this is not necessarily my realm here. But for those that apply for this is it's good to see. A lot of you will probably say this release is definitely very United States centric, which, just doing a quick head count. I mean, North America centric for that matter. I mean, like 90% of these planes are United States carriers. And then obviously you have your Aeromexico in Mexico, but it is very US centric. I know some people, and I do agree that it, should be balanced, but sometimes again, I don't make these decisions, but I think sometimes it is good to have a centric around North America because so many of the collectors here are just fleet build so many of these things. I'm not saying all these airplanes are fleet build worthy, but I kind of understand why they do a lot of like US carriers from time to time just because demand for them is typically pretty high. So last on this list, I'm not getting it, but it does perk my interest, the United Starline 767-300. I think this looks awesome. I don't really have a big United collection. I don't really have a need for a United 767-300, but boy, do those Star Alliance, when I see those, it takes me back to when U.S. Airways was still a thing, and they had the Star Alliance U.S. Airways 319s. They had the 7.5 at one point, so nothing negative to say on this one. I think this is a great model. If you're big on United and you don't have this yet, I don't know if anyone's made this in the past years, but definitely a good one for you to go for. All right, transitioning to 1-200. We'll try to go through these ones a little bit quicker. 1-400 is usually my main thing, so I kind of like talking about those a little bit more. But first, Allegheny, which kind of takes me back to the roots of Allegheny Airport up in PA. So I always like seeing Allegheny. Don't really know if I kind of want to get this at some point. Like, this is kind of a model for me. It's like it's sentimental for that reason. If it's something that's still available months down the road and I have some disposable income for it, I'm thinking, yeah, maybe I'll get this. I mean, for the time being, no, but I do really like this. I think this does look good. Next up, we got the Atlas Air 777, one in the normal configuration and one in the open configuration. So I'm not going to spend too much time on this. This is a part of their interactive series. Something that I would like to pick up is a 1-400 interactive plane. I think that actually would be kind of cool in my cargo area to kind of showcase a little bit different airplanes with all the doors open and everything. I think that'd be pretty cool. So obviously they're going ham on these 100-year anniversary planes. So here's the 321neo in that, and then you have the 350 in that. Again, I don't need to reiterate what we said at the beginning. I think these are going to be phenomenal airplanes. 1-200, 1-400, whichever one you choose. If you do, any of these are going to look really nice. Got the big boy, super boy Emirates 380 in that revised little livery that they have. Again, this is, man, I can't even imagine how big these 1-200s are. I think the biggest model I have is a 340-600, and even that thing's a big chunk. This guy, oh man, he'd take up way too much room in here. So, but yeah, good to see that, of course, 380 with the revised livery. That's really cool. And then here, so same thing here. I think these, if I remember correctly, these are in the interactive series as well. So this is actually a really cool one because MD-11 is such a unique plane since it's a tri-jet. It's still nice to see those when we can. This looks really cool. Nothing much to say other than that. And going down, we got a couple Uniteds, Star Alliance, and then this is the flaps down version. I think these are really cool, by the way. I don't have any currently. I think I had a Florida 1 at one point, but I sold it. But still really nice. So don't get the C-787 in Charlotte. However, they are such a nice plane. I really wish we did get like the American 787-8s. I know we will at some point down the road. I just have no idea when that time is. But this is really nice. I mean, I think one day maybe I would consider getting a different, maybe like a United 1-400 version of this. But I think this is in the future release for the 1-400. I just probably be out in a few months or so, but it does look really nice. And last but not least, this was just released recently in the 1-400 version. This is your Virgin Atlantic 330-900 Neo, showcasing that 40th little emblem there. Looks really nice. I mean, I don't, the 1-400 pictures that I've seen look pretty good. So I was actually debating on getting the 1-400 version for a model airport, but you never know with these, right? Sometimes they'll keep them on for a while, then they'll rip them off, or sometimes they just keep it for like a year or so, and then they get the emblem off, and I don't know. If I was a big Virgin Atlantic fan, yeah, sure, I would definitely get one if you're trying to collect things like that. I mean, that'd be cool for your collection, but otherwise, for me, like I always say, 1-200s, I don't get them that much, so it's going to have to take some real good sentiment and something really wow factor for me to jump in on a 1-200 plane. But anyways, guys, that was the March and April release, kind of what I said in the beginning of the video. I really do want to hear what you guys have to think about this, and as always, I will be down in the comments trying to respond to everything for the most part. But yeah, let me know what you think about this. Anything you picking up, anything you passing on. Was it a bad release? Was it a good release? Me personally, obviously being, United States based, I actually think this was a really good release. You had the two Deltas, which, again, I'm really glad these 100 years are coming up. I'm 100%, like I said, I'm definitely getting the 321neo. But I really like this. I mean, the Hawaiian, yes, repetitive. They've made them before, but again, I missed out on them the 3 other times, so I'm glad that this time I'll probably be able to jump on one of these. So yeah, I mean, I like them. I definitely can see both sides where our European friends might not have been too pleased with some things, and I totally get it. I'm not knocking it, but just me being based here, I thought this was actually a fabulous release, and I'm glad the next one won't be for a little bit because we can recover from everything that's been going on from other ones. So anyways, guys, thank you for stopping by and checking out the planes today and listen to me talk for however long we've been going, and I'll see you in the next video.